I've got to get those squeezes in this morning. Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear, big boy. Your forearms must be huge by now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are. I get that a lot. People will stop me as I'm walking down the street, and they'll say, "Sir, what? Your forearms? They seem to be very, very muscular." And then I'll just do this, and then they understand how they got that way. So
Do you ever tell people that when Popeye comes to the Chapman Cultural Center, you have already been tagged as the man who will play Popeye?
yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And I love spinach, and
Yeah.
so it just seems to work. So actually, my forearms aren't that big. But good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. We've got great people here this morning to get
Already.
our minds right. To get our minds right, we're gonna have a great day. Russ Hammond is gonna have a great day. Good morning, Russ. Red Wing Shoes, Spartanburg, South Carolina. David Turner,
DT.
yeah, just doing his thing, doing his thing. Rapid Fire Manufacturing. If you haven't seen it, you need to. What's wrong with you? Go watch it. David Turner doing a great job with that program. And this program, 180 plus days. I'm going to get the exact number so that way it's more specific. But
We've been hearing that.
what's that?
We've been hearing that.
I know, and you know what's bad? We have a few programs that are outside of our like typical library of guests, and I don't want to leave them off. And so every time I see them, and I've calculated from the day that we actually started, which might be easier too, but I digress. We've done this, we've stayed accountable, we know it's coming every single morning. Why is it important to get your mind right and start your day with intention, positivity, and energy, Freddie Blanton?
Well, you definitely don't want to start it with negativity and bad emotions and carry a negative attitude to wherever you may go throughout the day.
Absolutely. And I may have asked you this before, but have you read The Energy Bus?
Yes.
The Energy Bus by John Gordon, one of my favorite books. And that's what this feels a little. This is the bus. This is either the pregame speech before you walk out onto the basketball court, before you go out and play a big game on Friday night football, right? Just running onto the field. It's getting motivated. It's getting around your team. It's being on that energy bus. I always used to think, man, that would be cool to be on that bus and have you a sales team and everybody cheering for you, and you go in and you could almost feel the energy that guy would have when he walked in, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't you?
This is your chance to run through the banner or run through the smoke with the
That's right.
music blaring and the fireworks shoot. Boom.
I always wanted to do that. I've got to tell a quick. We got time for a story this morning.
Do we have time to take a drink of coffee, Mike?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's drink a cup of coffee.
I've
Good
been on
morning,
8th grade
DJ.
field trip.
DJ, good morning. Let's roll.
I know you've been sleeping in and
I know.
going to bed early.
I've been taking it easy. I've got a couple of stories. We're going to talk about near-death experiences and embarrassing stories. But before I tell that one, I've got to tell the story about before you run out onto the football field. So I always wanted, growing up, I always wanted to play sport. I wanted to know what that was like because you see everybody just running out onto the field. So I can remember when we were younger. I mean, this was like grade school. In one of the classes, I'd say
40
grade,
years
like
ago.
like fifth school, sixth grade, something. I know it's amazing the things that stick out. I know a few years ago, but it goes fast, folks. Everybody gets a turn. But I remember the gym teacher, the PE teacher, they wanted to simulate what it was like to run out onto the field. Just simulate what that was like. And so we picked teams and then they held up a banner and we ran through that banner, and just the feeling of running through the banner, Freddie, it
Felt
was,
good, didn't it?
oh my goodness. There was nobody there, but I ran through that banner hands in the hand.
Proud.
But proud and excited. My point is, I was ready to play a game. It didn't matter what was on the other side of that banner, Freddie. I was excited. I was pumped up. It didn't matter if it was a PE class or if we were at Death Valley getting ready to play a major football game.
Yeah, you were getting your mind right and you didn't even know it.
I was getting my mind. I've been getting my mind right for years. So thanks for joining us this morning, Russ Hammond, David Turner, DJ. Man, I've got some things that I want to talk about, but let's talk about that. Have you ever had an embarrassing moment in your life?
No, not me.
No embarrassing moments. Well, that's good. You stayed strong all these years, but there's nothing like a good when we're taking action, when we're doing things that we haven't done before, whether it be walking in on a sales call, doing our first podcast, going live for the first time, talking to somebody new, we're going to have some embarrassing moments, aren't we?
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah. And when we do, that's an opportunity to grow. And we always learn from these things. We always learn from these things.
Has
And
something
so
happened to you recently?
I had an embarrassing moment and I learned some things and it digresses a little bit, but you know what? This show is about being real, isn't it? This show is about being real. So I've got to share. We can smile about it now and I can laugh and I can tell y'all, but in the moment, this was probably the most embarrassing moment, the scariest moment, and all of that. And it was less than 24 hours ago. Do I have any intrigue? Have I built up any curiosity on what happened last night? About 8:30. About 8:30, I was getting ready to get in the bed, and my left leg felt like it just completely gave out. Like I couldn't put any weight on my left leg. And I grabbed the table. I grabbed this chair. I stuck this chair up under me and I sat down. Are you with me so far?
Okay.
And I rolled myself. I went into a straight up what I know now. I thought I was having a stroke. I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought I was having anything. I was having a panic attack. I rolled myself to this door right here and got the attention of my neighbor. And if you've ever been in that situation before, that's I mean, in my mind, I was having an emergency situation. I need a DJ who's got safety training. I need a DJ. But I've never had anything remotely close to that. I went straight into whatever it would feel like if that was the situation. Let me say this. I've had panicky situations. I've had, things like that, but not to this level.
So
right?
What was the embarrassing part?
The embarrassing
you
part
rolled
was
yourself to the door. Did you get the door open?
The embarrassing part is I got the door open, and in order to get the attention of, again, I go to bed pretty early, so the outside of my door was still fairly active, and I was still in my underwear.
Okay.
And so I opened the door to get attention. As I got one person's attention, I got pretty much everybody on this floor last night saw me in my underwear in this chair.
It was a medical emergency.
Hey, I'm so happy. Let me say this. I am so happy that we can laugh about it this morning because
Well,
last night I was so nervous. And to show you how nervous I was in my underwear. I mean,
it could have been worse.
could have been worse. And I tell you what, you wake up and you have an extreme amount of gratitude and you don't care. I'm sure DJ doing the ambulance, you ran into all sorts of situations, right? You find people that are having emergency situations and you don't know when something like that's going to happen. Of course, it made me think, hey, good thing that this wasn't the real deal, but we don't know when the real deal is going to be. And thank goodness, let me say, I found out last night I have some of the coolest neighbors, and I knew that, but now I really know.
And they really
They,
know
they
you.
they know me more than they wanted to know me now. But so you know what? Sometimes this show is about telling the truth, being honest. I feel fine medically. I feel completely embarrassed, but also I learned a lot, and I hope that somebody out there took something from that, other than just hey, no matter. Let me say this: if somebody told me that that would have happened, and then it happened, I would have thought, oh my goodness, I would have never overcome. But I realized in the moment, I couldn't have changed anything. I was really that scared. I was really, and living by yourself, you just feel like, hey, this is bad.
How long did this whole thing last?
I couldn't go to sleep last night until about 1 o'clock in the morning. But
But you had
but
actually started to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
And no, it was probably 8:45. It was
Okay.
probably about 8:45. I was getting ready for bed. I was going to do some straightening up in the kitchen. You know how that kind of thing is.
Yeah.
You're landing the plane, I call it. I was tired. I had a great day. There was nothing in my mind that thought this is going to be how this is going to end. There was nothing there. Um, and so fortunately, there's a nurse on this floor. There's some kids that are doing some doctor. The kids. Hey, you know what? The one grateful thing is that not the young folks didn't see me. That they would have still been laughing. But hey, at
Hey,
any rate, there you go. But
here's what
now, where are
here's
we
the
going from
takeaway.
here?
Here's the takeaway.
Thank
You
you for
have to
finding the
be
takeaway.
aware of what you wear to bed. Things happen at night. You can get
Things,
put in bad situations at night.
yes. Yeah, I found my situation. I found myself. I mean, like I didn't even think about how I'm dressed. Excuse me. Um, it would be interesting to hear from DJ though. For this to have been a panic situation, I had physical response. You know what I mean? It was so. What was weird is how powerful the mind is, Freddie. The powerful the mind is once you kind of lose it. But absolutely, watch what you wear to bed, and yeah. So hey, I had no idea that we were going to go there this morning, but we did. And when you go live, you never know where exactly you're going to go. We were going to talk about Napoleon Hill this morning, for goodness
Well,
sakes.
we'll save that for tomorrow. For
Yeah.
the past few days, I have technically been a tourist,
Yes, you have.
right? Eighth grade field trip. We traveled here, we traveled there. But yesterday, we stopped at Bucky's.
Situation. Oh yeah, Bucky's.
Bucky's, okay?
Yeah.
There is nothing that will make you feel like a tourist more so than being at Bucky's. Have you ever been?
I have been to Bucky's, but just a brief. You know what I mean. I know
Yeah.
what Bucky's is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
It's
say
like
that I've spent a lot of time there.
the Cracker
It's cute.
Barrel, Hobby
Yeah,
Lobby,
QT.
QT, 7-Eleven, McDonald's, all this stuff, the barbecue restaurant, all this stuff wrapped up into one deal.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's huge.
But I have to give these people a shout out because I don't know how big the restrooms, this whole facility for the men's room, countless urinals, many places to do your other business. It was clean. I'm talking about super clean. You can go in some of these gas stations and they don't have a single stall clean. So Buc-ee's was on point.
Buc-ee's was on point. Oh, and before we go, I've got another one. What you're talking about there is customer service. And real quick, I got in an Uber, and this guy gave what we're always talking about, the 5-star service, right? He had the he had a Tesla, and he had in the back seat, he had it set up for the passenger to do all sorts of things. And so when I got in the car, he gave me the rundown. Sir, I hope you're having a great day. You know, I've got this for you. I've got this for you. If you need this, this is this, this is this. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to feel bad for not giving a tip now, man. And he said, exactly. You know, it was a really, but he did a great job. And I enjoyed the experience. He went above and beyond. I think, hey, I need a DJ. DJ.
DJ's been there.
Yeah.
He's been to Buc-ee's.
Oh, yeah. On the board, fresh brisket. Y'all like the brisket?
Hey, final thoughts from the average dude.
Final thoughts from the average dude. When embarrassing things happen, you find out how human everybody is. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good. See y'all tomorrow.
Let's roll. Bye-bye.